Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
What is a sthana? From the term sthiti, there are 6 sthanas for men which are given here in this chapter. The sthanas for women are given in the chapter of Gati. Now let us move on to the sthanas for men. Vaishnavam samapadam cha Vaishakam mandalam tatha Pratyalidam tatalidham Sthanan yetani shandranam. The 6 sthanas, standing postures for men are Vaishnava, Samapada, Vaishaka, Mandala, Alida and Pratyalida. According to the shloka, it is Pratyalidam and Alidam. Based on the rhythm and the meter, he has given like that. Now he starts giving the definition of each and every sthana. And of course, the god, the devata for that particular sthana. Dvau tala vardhatalascha Padayor antaram bhavet Tayoho samuthitas tvekas trayashraha pakshastito aparaha Kinchidanchita jangam cha Sauštavanga puraskritam Vaishnavasthanam Vishnuratradi devatam. So the Vaishnavasthana, the feet 2.5 talas apart, one in the natural posture and another one slightly obliquely placed with toes pointing sideways and the shank bent slightly. So Anchita is again a bend here, though it is not a crooked bend like Kunchita, it is a mild bend, outward bend, and the limbs are to be in Saushtava Anga Puraskritam. Kinchid Anchita Jangam, slightly bent Janga. The shanks are to be bent very slightly because this is more a male posture. And the presiding deity for this sthana is Vishnu. Then he gives the uses for the sthanas. He says these can be used by superior and middling characters in ordinary conversation and also while performing their duties. Then it should be also used for throwing the disc, holding a bow, etc., and especially in the Shastra Mokshana, using of the missiles in the fighting sequences and also when angry mood. He also adds the other uses, especially in rebuking, love, distress, apprehension, envy, cruelty, thinking, assurance, recollection, in erotic sentiment, in marvelous sentiment, in odious sentiment, in heroic sentiments. They are to be, these sthanas are to be used. So then comes Samapada sthana. स्वभाव सौष्ठवोपेतौ ब्रह्मा च अत्र अधिदैवतम् अनेन कार्यं स्थानेन विप्रमङ्गलधारणम् रूपणं पक्षिणां चैव वरं कौतुकमेव च खस्थानं स्यन्दनस्थानं विमानस्थायिनाम् अपि. This is samapada. The feet are to be in the natural posture, kept one tala apart from each other. And the body should be very natural with saushtava, that is the body straight. And the presiding deity is Brahma. This is to be used in accepting the blessings, mimicking the birds, movement of the birds, the movements of bridegroom in the marriage ceremony, persons moving in the sky, chariot, aerial car, etc. And even practicing vows. The body should be upright, straight. This is Samapada Sthana. Then comes Vaishaka Sthana. Sthanena anena kartavyam ashwanam vahanam bhudaihi. The second sthana is Samapada. Samapade samaupadau talamatrantaraಸ್ಥಿತೌ स्वभाव सौष्ठवोपेतौ ब्रह्मा च अत्र अधिदेवतम्. So here in Samapada, the pada, there should be one tala apart. In between the two feet, it should be a natural position and one tala apart, the body in Saushtava, and the presiding deity is Brahma. It can be used for accepting the blessings, mimicking the birds, bridegroom at the marriage ceremony, persons moving in the sky, moving in a chariot, aerial car, and the practicing of vows and many more. Now, we move on to the next sthana, the third one, called Vaishaka. Talas trayo ardhatalascha padayor antaram bhavet. Talam strin ardhatalam cha nishannorum prakalpayet. Trayashrau pakshasthitau chaiva tatra padau prayojayet. Vaishaka sthanam etadhi skandascha atra adhidevatam. So here there should be 3.5 talas in between the 2 feet. 3.5 talas apart, and the thighs should be without motion, and they are to be obliquely placed, pointing to the sides. He says, Nishanna Uru. It's also more bent, more close to the ground. Trayashrau pakshasthitau, on the sides, obliquely placed on the sides. And the presiding deity is Kartikeya, Subramanya. This Vaishaka Sthana is to be used in riding horses, exercises, mimicking large birds, huge birds, and of course in shooting arrows, etc. Next comes the sthana called mandala. Aindre tu mandale padau chatustalantarathitau. In this mandala sthana, the antarita, the gap in between the 2 feet should be chatustala, 4 talas. It relates to Indra. Trayashrau pakshastitau chaiva katijanu samau. Tatha. Trayashrau, it should be slightly oblique. Pakshastitau, on the sides. And katijanu samau. The kati should be in line with janu, the knee. This is called mandala. It's also called as Aindra mandala. And what are the uses? They are to be used in releasing the weapons like bow and arrow, thunderbolt, riding of elephants, and of course in traveling on huge birds or animals. Next sthana is Alida. Asyaiva dakshinam padam panchatalan prasaryatu. From that mandala sthana, stretch the right foot, panchatala, 5 talas apart. We are already from 2.5, we moved 3.5, then 4, and now it is 5 talas apart. Alidham sthanakam kuryat rudrascha asya adidevatam. Here Rudra is the Devata. So it is 5 talas apart from the Mandalasthana. From the Mandalasthana, you have to take the right foot 5 talas apart. And this is used for Veera Raudra. All the acts connected to Veera and Raudra. And of course, Mallanam Chaiva, for the action of Malla, wrestlers, and representation of attacking the enemies, etc. Then he says, Kunchitam dakshinam kritva. Bend the right leg. Vamapadam prasarya. Stretch the left leg. Earlier in Alida, it was right leg which was stretched. Now here he clearly says Kunchitam dakshinam. Bend the right. Vamapadam prasarya. Stretch the left. Alida parivartastu. If it is the opposite of Alida, pratyalidam iti smritam. It is to be known as pratyalida. So when the right foot is bent and the left foot is stretched, it is to be known as pratyalida, which is the opposite of alida. Here he says, after taking the aim of shooting from the alida sthana, the release of the missile is to be done through pratyalida sthana. So all these sthanas are used for releasing of the weapons. And for alida and pratyalida, he has given Rudra as the Adidevata for both these sthanas. Then he moves on to the weapons, nyayas for using the weapons. These are 4 in number. He says, Nyayaschaiva atra vigneyas chatvaraha shastra mokshane. What are they? Bharataha sattvataschaiva varshaganyo. Varshaganyoya kaishikaha. So they are Bharata, Satvata, Varshaganya and Kaishika. These are the rules of how to use the weapon. In Bharata, it should be only at the level of the waist. In Satvata Nyaya, it should be in the level of foot. In Varshaganya Nyaya, it should be, the weapons should be stuck in the level of chest, and in Kaishika Nyaya, the weapons can be released in the level of the head. So, these Nyayas, which are arising out of various charis, the actors should walk around the stage using the weapons and for releasing the weapons. And thus, these charis are to be performed along with the Nyayas in fighting sequences, he says. He also adds the Nyayas, the way or the methods are so called because the fighting on the stage are to be done by the body movements, the Angaharas relating to the Nyayas. It is not a regular fight, it has to be only acted through the body movements, through the dancing movements or the dramatized movements of Angaharas, and they are to be performed on the stage. Then he explains each and every Nyaya, what are all the movements for a particular Nyaya, what is the action of a particular body movement in Bharata Nyaya. How do you keep your leg? How do you move with your leg? What is the flourish of your hand? These are the Angaharas. These are the Angaharas of these Nyayas. They are not to be taken as the Angaharas of the Karanas. Though they can also be used for fighting sequences, here he gives some movements connected with fighting sequences. For Bharata Nyaya, Satvata Nyaya, Varshaganya Nyaya and Kaishika Nyaya. Finally, he says, with these graceful movements of the limbs, weapons like the bow and the thunderbolt are to be flourished at the time of their use. And he also gives a beautiful shloka which says, Na bhedyam napi cha chedyam na chapi rudirashrutihi range praharane karya na chapi vyaktadhatanam samyamatrena kartavyam shastranam mokshanam budaihi. Samyamatrena kartavyam. It should be only through the gestures. It should be represented through the gestures. Na bhedyam. No piercing should be done. Na chedyam. Cutting should not be done. Na chapi rudirashrutihi. There should not be any striking or flowing of the blood. All these missiles are to be released with only the mimicry, that is action of gestures. So, these exercises should be performed and embellished with Saushtava and accompanied by music and with proper tempo and thala, laya and thala. He says, Anga Saushtava Sampannaihi Angaharaihi Vibhushitam. Then he moves on to explain what is Saushtava. What is Saushtava? There is a very clear reference of Saushtava in the Karana chapter just before starting the definition of the Karanas. Same way, here also he has given again about Saushtava. Saushtave prayatnastu karyo vyayama sevibihi. So this Saushtava has to be taken care of. Nahi Saushtava hina angaha shobhate natya nrittayoho. Without Saushtava, it does not create any beauty in a dance or drama. Even for drama, all these charis are important. Many think that these charis are only for dancing. No, it has to be used in drama, especially for the characters. Especially in dance dramas also, the charis are to be used for the movement of the characters. Achanchalam akubjam cha sannagatram tataiva cha na ati uchcham chalapadam cha saushtavangam prayojayet. So, achanchalam, there should not be any chanchala, the movements in the body. Akubjam, it should not be bent. There should not be any hunch in the body. Sannagatram, the body should be at ease. Na ati uchcham chalapadam, not very much moving, and the Saushtavanga should be used for the movement. Then he says, Kati karna sama yatra kurparamsa shirastatha samunnata muraschaiva Saushtavam nama tadbhavet. This is the definition for Saushtava. He says, when the waist and the ears are straight, as well as the elbow and the shoulders are in the natural position along with the head, then it is called Saushtava, especially when the chest is raised. Kati karna sama. Kati is the waist or the hip, karna, ear, sama, in straight, kurpara amsa shirastata, head, shoulders and elbows are also in line. We can't bring the head forward like this. Samunnata muraschaiva, the chest is to be straight, upright, and Saushthavam nama tadbhavet. This is called Saushthavam. Comes from the root word sushtu, which beautifies. So it is the beautification of the body, especially while moving and standing anywhere in Nritta or Natya. Then there is a term called Chaturashra mentioned here by Bharata. He says the Vaishnava sthana with two hands moving about at the waist and the navel level together with the chest raised is called Chaturashra. So this is the beginning of any dance performance or drama performance. Here it can be equated with the Natyarambha, which is more a term which is colloquially used. Here he says Chaturashra, Kati, Nabhi, Charau, Hastau, vakshaschaiva samunnatam, Vaishnava sthanam ityangam. There should be the Vaishnava sthana, the position. Chaturashra mudahritam. And then he also gives the 4 acts connecting with the bow. 4 acts of releasing the bow, especially the bow and arrow. They are preparing, parimarjana, taking the arrow, adana, taking an aim, sandhanam, and shooting, mokshana. Parimarjanam adanam, sandhanam, mokshanam bhavet. Danushastu prayoktavyam, karanam tu chaturvidam. These are the 4 karanas for releasing of the arrow. So, holding the bow and releasing the arrow. And then there are few exercises given, methods of exercising in this chapter. This chapter is a unique chapter talking about charis, sthanas, then about fighting sequences, the nyayas, and then saushtava, chaturashra, the karanas for releasing the bow and arrow, and also the exercises, and finally also the health and nourishment of the person who takes the exercises. So, what are these exercises? He says, Taila bhyaktena gatrena yavagum mriditena cha vyayamam karayed dhiman bhitta vakashake tatha. So, this is the preparation for the person who has to train his body for all these exercises. So, we have a little bit of Ayurvedic elements also here mentioned. Like he says, one should perform the exercises on the floor as well as high up on the air, and beforehand his body should be massaged with the sesamum oil and with barley gruel. Taila bhyaktena gatrena yavagu mriditena. Yavagu mriditena. So, the gruel with yavagu. This massage is to be done. Oil massage and the massage with the grains are to be done. And then the person has to do floor exercises and air exercises. The floor is the proper place for these exercises. Yogyayam matrika bittihi tasmat bittim samashrayet. Bittau prasarita angam tu vyayamam karayen naram. Hence, one should resort to the floor and stretching oneself over it, over the floor, and should exercise. Still now we have importance given for the floor exercises. If you take the modern techniques also, see, it is nearly 2nd century BC where this is given by Bharata. From that period onwards we have all these followed, and that is how we have got till now. When you start, you have the warm-ups done, and only after the warm-ups you go into any kind of drama, dance or play, games or anything for that matter. Then he talks about health and nourishment. He says, balartam cha nisheveta nasyam Basti Vidhim Tata. So we have Nasya Vidhi, Basti Vidhi, which is given in Ayurveda. He says for the strength of the body, one should take proper nasal medicines and get oneself purged. Resort to the rules regarding the abdomen. So, oil should be taken for that. Juice of sugarcane. All these snigdha, rasakam, panakam, all these are oil intake and juice intake are to be done for vitality and one's own nourishment, and the exercise is dependent on vitality, he says. Ahare adhishtitaha pranaha prane yogyaha pratishtitaha. So then he moves on to say one should be careful about ahara, then one's own nourishment. When bowels are not cleaned or cleansed, one is very tired, hungry, thirsty, and has drunk too much of water or has eaten too much, one should not take these exercises. So it should be a very mild intake. He says, Ashuddha kayam praklantamatieva kshut pipasitam atipitam tata bhuktam vyayamam naiva karayet. Atipitam, drinking more, tata bhuktam, eating more, vyayamam naiva karayet, don't do any vyayama, exercises. Then he also says, the wise teacher should give training in exercises to his student who has a graceful body and a nice chest and is not very much covered with the garment. It should be very least amount of garment so that he is able to perform well. Then thus he completes this chapter regarding charis in a very beautiful manner. Chari is the beginning for everything, he says. Chari, from chari, nritta proceeds. Chari is the base for any movement on stage. So he has detailed this chapter in a very beautiful way, nearly 101 shlokas. And then we will move on to the chapter of Mandala. Namaskaram. Namaste.